We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tòng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, tín chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát từ ly cố đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thổ Sư Chế Đô Ye La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Ta Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya La Ha Đề Tam Miao Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Huineng, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ Hòa Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 17th of September 2022. We are gathered here at Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the second chapter of the sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are on slide number 230. He's giving us some verses that he told us to recite and practice accordingly, and according to the verse. And this verse is, if you do that, will help you unfold your practical wisdom. Okay? So if you're afraid of leg pains and you can't stand it, you should memorize this and recite it and practice accordingly. Okay? However, since I said it, I need to also remind you that if you endure the training in Chan, you open your practice of wisdom a lot sooner than otherwise. Okay? All right. 230 text. If people in the world practice the way, they're not hindered by anything. By constantly seeing their own transgressions, they are in accord with the way.
世人若修道，一切尽不妨，常自见己过，与道即相当。
You know, it's funny thing is I read this sutra a long time ago, and just like most people, it's such an enjoyable sutra. You understand the language is so simple, and everyone, I thought like everyone else that you could understand the sutra. But it's not that way. It turns out that he also giving us this verse here, the essence of the Chan practice. What is the essence of Chan practice? Okay, he says if people in the world practice the way, meaning that if you are interested in practicing the Buddha way. So far, so good. Okay. And he says, if you wish to practice the way, you wish to cultivate, that's what we colloquially call it. Practice the way is just cultivate. Okay. Here's what happens. You will not have any obstructions or hindrances at all if. Okay. There's an if. So here's what happens. The fact of the matter is that when you practice the way, when you cultivate, you will be hindered. That's the implication. Okay? Cultivation, any form of spiritual cultivation, you practice the Buddha way at all, you will be hindered. You will have obstructions. Okay, that's the nature of the practice. Okay, however, if you're not hindered by anything, if you constantly see your own transgressions. So what does it mean? It means that to practice the way, okay, number one, you expect by default to encounter hindrances. However, if that bothers you, okay, another way to get around the hindrances, your obstructions, is by constantly looking and searching and seeing your transgressions. Okay, transgression means the offenses you are creating. I know in the morning, this morning we had a chant class and we teach you to cross your legs, and in some teacher they teach you to breathe, some people recite the Buddha's name, some people recite mantras and so forth. Okay? That's a chant practice. But even if you do so, eventually you still need to perceive or dare look at your own transgressions. I know a person like Malcolm says, I work so hard every day, and I come the weekend, and he wants me to look at my flaws, my weaknesses. It doesn't sound like fun. I didn't sign up for this. I came to the temple to be entertained. I came to the temple to have a good time and make life more enjoyable. And all you're doing is that, according to the sixth patriarch, is that it's necessary for you to, especially Malcolm, to look at his own transgressions. What are you doing wrong is a message. It's so unsexy. That's a bad word. Sorry. Control yourself, Malcolm. Okay? It's so, can we use unsexy, or is it taboo? Huh? People, you can do a vote. Okay? Is it okay to use that word? Hey, Yun, is it okay to use unsexy? Anyone? You are a mature and proper person. Is it okay to use unsexy? Hey, how's the San Diego flood? Were you flooded at all, your house? Oh, wow, really? I heard that people get flooded and they lost their homes, and any mudslides in that area? No, oh, wow. Oh, thank you. You okay, huh? Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so what happened is that people come to the chant class, they come to the temple, they expect it to be a pleasant experience. They say, wow, I got away from my house, I got away from my husband, and to learn how to practice the Buddha way. And like the spy number 1 here, she comes to the temple. Part of her fun, the woman over there, is to look at my flaws. You say, what is it Master is talking about today? He's speaking nonsense. What are you talking about having 4 kids? That's really nonsense. And so she says, wow, I disagree. I have 3 kids. I didn't even make it to 4. And yet, I'm suffering so much. And you're asking me to add one more one more to increase my suffering. Okay? And so she enjoys it. That's part of her pleasure, is to look at my transgression. I say, my God, Master is giving the wrong instructions. This is fun. No, you're not supposed to look at my transgression. You're supposed to look at your own transgressions. Anyone doing that this morning? Don't be shy now. Not time to sleep. Yeah? Chen Fong, have you looked at your own transgression this morning? He says, no sound from Go Forest. Must be Ngok, some sort of transgression from little Ngok. See, I know it. This guy has an answer for everything. Audio issues. Okay, this is so important. This is what Master YongHua refers to as, that's spy number one. What does your teacher teach you? It's exactly consistent with Master Huineng's teaching. It's called 回光返照. That's looking your own transgressions. The Chinese are very polite. They say, return the light, okay, and examine yourself. Master Huineng is much more blunt. He says, it's not just return the light and look at how pretty you are, how superior you are, how special you are, and you are. Okay? Master Huineng says, when you return the light and look at yourself, don't look at how nice you are. Look how great you are, how wonderful you are, how special you are. Look at your flaws and deficiencies. Especially look at the karmas you've been creating. You are creating. Okay? If I didn't stress this, people will gloss over this. Most people read, oh yeah, of course, and look at God seeing their own transgression. What's the big deal? This is one of the hardest things to do. That's why it's called cultivation. Cultivation is not simply crossing your legs. It's not simply going to the temple and doing all these things. All that is for the purpose of looking at your own transgressions. What kind of transgressions did you create today at home, on the way to the temple, at the temple? Constantly look at your own transgressions. Any problems here? Okay? What happened is that, what do you do when you look at your own transgressions? Can I ask our friends in Korea, which I will see them soon, very, very shortly, what do you do when you see your own transgressions, Koreans? Okay, pass the microphone around. Okay, and we have a good laugh here. What Koreans do? Speak. Koreans are becoming too comfortable. They said, let Master give the Americans a hard time. First brave Korean soul, what do you do when you see your own transgressions? Okay, and lock the doors, please. No one can leave until they answer the question. I got until 2:30. I'm in no hurry. Okay, the Americans are giving you a break. Go ahead, Malcolm, while the Koreans are thinking about their own transgressions. Yes?
Master, I got a question. Is this measured by samadhi, like the lower samadhi you have, the less you can see your transgressions, and the higher your samadhi, you can recognize your transgressions?
No, it's not the case. It doesn't matter. It's not a matter how many you see. It's whatever transgressions you see. Okay? In a way, it's true in a lower level you have more transgression, higher levels actually it really makes no difference. Seeing your transgression is all that matters. Whether it's few or a lot, same thing. You look at your own transgressions. You don't look at your neighbor's transgressions. Don't look at my transgression. You look at your transgressions. Is it clear? It's commonplace for monks and nuns, like in my peers, to say, look at that monk, see how better we are, how far superior we are, because they have so many transgressions. We are so much better. That's not called cultivation. Cultivation is that if she has a blessing, the transgression, it doesn't matter. If you can see that, it makes no difference. It does no good to you. You look at your own transgressions. That's all. Go ahead, Koreans. You have plenty of time to think about now. It's around pretty early in Korea right now. What do Koreans do?
지금 안 들려요. 여기서. We cannot hear you. 거기서 뮤트가 돼 있는 것 같은데요.
What's going on? We have sound issues in Korea, or there's no one or no brave soul in Korea? Go ahead, Conk.
왜 그런 잘못된 행동을 하게 됐는지 계속 생각하다가 허물이 너무 많은 것에 대해서 우울해합니다.
상우 스님 우리도 안 들립니다. We cannot hear you. 상우 스님.
Shall we abandon the Koreans? Let's forget the Koreans, huh? they're too much trouble. They can't figure out what to do. I remember when we first started, we had to buy wireless equipment, and we bought expensive equipment, cost hundreds of dollars. And then as more people came, when we spent thousands of dollars. And then more people came, we spent $10,000. And now, in not just
We cannot hear you.
just one place, but several way places, tens of thousands of dollars. And now we're adding, video. And now we're adding international audio and video.
Oh, why?
And then
Do you hear me?
adding
Keep saying.
the Koreans who have a lot of problems.
들려요. 말씀해 보세요.
We spend so much money and nothing works. The Koreans can't figure it out.
Master, I think about why I made such an offense, and then I found out so many offenses, and I got depressed.
And you what? You found out you
I
have,
got depressed.
you become depressed.
Yes.
Very good. That's very Korean. You feel guilty? You feel guilty and you become depressed. I would too. Yes, 7. And the audio problems persist here in the United States as well. Did I tell you I spent tens of thousands of dollars in audio equipment? And it's amazing how.
Okay, Master, sorry for the pause. This is from Forced Unification, and they're asking, Alex asks, how do I examine my transgressions without getting trapped in false thinking?
We're not talking about false thinking, we're talking about what did you do wrong. You don't need to go into false thinking. Okay? And the Master says, are you constantly seeing your own transgressions? What does it mean, constantly seeing your own transgression? Let's clarify that for the sake of the Koreans and for you Americans as well. What does it mean, constantly seeing your own transgressions? Yes, number 2.
Mô Phật và Thầy, cái lỗi lầm của mình á, mình không có thể biết được. Dầu cho mình muốn tránh cái lỗi lầm của mình á, thì cái nghiệp nó kéo để cho mình gặp. Chứ không phải là cái chuyện mà cái lỗi lầm của mình á, ai nào cũng biết hết. Mình biết đi con đường đó đã khổ rồi mà mình cũng phải bước đi nữa. Tại sao? Tại vì cái nghiệp. Chứ mình ở đời mình sống tất cả đừng có cái tạo cái nghiệp đó thì mình không có bao giờ khổ. Mô Phật.
Emitofuo.
Okay, now it's Vietnamese audio issues, not just Korean, not just American. Did I tell you I spent so much money at each temple? I feel so depressed. I'm seeing my own transgressions now. I should not have spent so much money. It's a real serious transgression.
Emitofuo.
Hello, Vietnam.
Master, I think that we cannot see our own transgression sometimes and we cannot avoid it because of our karmic retribution pull us into our own way. We know that this way is wrong. We want to get out of it. Somehow, because of the karmic retribution, we're forced to be in that particular way. And sometimes we understand that it's suffering, but we cannot avoid it because it's retribution. So if everybody don't do bad things, create karma, then they will live a happy life.
It sounds like she's seeing her own transgressions to me. So don't buy into what she says. She's seeing her own transgression, but she says, I can't see my own transgression. This woman is most deceptive. Okay, so what does it mean to constantly see your own transgression? Anyone? Now I open the floor to everyone. Korean, American, Vietnamese, you name it. What does it mean? Constantly seeing your own transgression. What does it mean? How do you constantly see your own transgression? This is fundamental. You better know this. You don't, you're in trouble. Conk, go ahead. How do you constantly see your own transgressions? Okay, now all the issues in Conk again.
오래 계속 오고 수행을 계속 하고 있으면 자신의 단점을 계속 보게 될 수 있는 것 같습니다.
I keep coming to the temple and keep doing practice, then I can see my transgression.
You can't see your transgression?
I can't.
The Koreans have they cannot, they don't pronounce can or can't clearly. Did she say can or can't?
I am able to see my transgression.
You're able to see transgression. Okay? Go ahead, 3.
Emily T. Says, this past week I have been looking at my transgressions. I don't know if I got hit with depression because my heart aches so much. I'm not suppressing so much enduring. I find it difficult to not react, but whenever my heart aches, my eyes would tear. Am I dwelling on my past and this pain?
I feel for her. I do have a heart, you know. But I'm sorry, I'm looking at my own transgression. I don't know what to do about hers. Another question?
Yes, this is from Gold Forest Daniel. Holding yourself accountable for your own condition.
Okay, very good. Conk, go ahead. Speak. How do you see or constantly see your own transgressions?
내가 하고자 하는 일이 잘 안 되거나 나를 괴롭히는 사람이 있을 때 나의 단점을 계속 보게 됩니다.
Don't translate Sangbuk. Let me guess. I'm a very happy person. I have no transgressions I can see. Yeah? Is it what she said?
No.
It's not that, then that's what all the girls at JMT are saying. I say, look and I cannot see any transgressions. Go ahead, translate, please.
When things are not going well, when somebody bothers me, then I can see my transgression.
But when things are going well, you have no transgressions?
No, I'm able to see my transgression.
You what to see?
I can see. I'm able to see my transgression.
Oh, I can see my transgression. You can learn to pronounce can or can't. Okay? And it's typical of foreigners to do this. Can and can't. Yes, 3.
Cordelia Lee says she sees her affliction and she can reflect to why and how to deal with it.
You can see, she reflects on how and why to deal with it. Okay, very good. Anyone else? Koreans, speak up. Jewel Mountain Temple. I know you've been following Master Z for a while now, and you have no more transgression, really significant transgression to talk about. But surely not all of you. For example, Jumi, does she have? Does she see her own transgressions or not? No, she says no. Okay? How do you constantly see your own transgressions? It requires, number 1, it assumes that you can recognize transgression. Yes? You see transgression meaning you can see, you can recognize you're doing something wrong. That's what it means. So far, so good. The woman there, she says, I'm seeing so many things I'm doing wrong. That to recognize that your flaws and your deficiencies, your mistakes, and the offenses you're creating. Yes? So you are recognizing it. What is a flaw? What is a deficiency? What is a transgression then? What is it? Yes, Malcolm. 1.
One could be like false thought.
The transgression is more than a false thought. Transgression here, we're talking about transgression here, that's at the obvious level is that you're doing something wrong. The false thought is wrong, but at a subtle level, at the Chan level is wrong, but not for ordinary people. Okay? Because he's referring to people in the world. We need to address this. People in the world. How do we recognize, do they recognize their transgression? This is very important because people should have asked it. They should have asked Master YongHua and those lecturers. As the great Patriarch says, we, people in the world, should be constantly be seeing our own transgressions. Okay? How do we do that? What are the transgressions we're supposed to see? Okay? And the answer is you're supposed to recognize your transgressions. Yes? How do you, Malcolm, recognize your transgressions, sir?
Last night I got into an argument with my neighbor, and I recognized that that was wrong, but it happened anyway.
Okay, so how do you recognize it's wrong? What makes you think it's wrong?
Because I gave rise to the anger.
Gave rise to anger.
Ego and anger.
Ego, anger. Very good. You see the anger there arising. You see the ego fighting there. That's wrong. Correct. Shame on you. 3, sir.
Gold Forest Daniel says something that hinders your spiritual progress.
Something hinders your spiritual progress. Okay? No, we're looking something coarse, something more concrete. How do you recognize it's a transgression? Okay? Even before the hindrance of the spiritual progress. We're not talking about hindrance yet. We're just talking about how you know it's wrong. Go ahead, Koreans. How do you Koreans know it's wrong? Okay, let's keep it simple. Since the Koreans don't understand how to express themselves, okay, in American way. Can we ask a little girl, Ngok, at Gold Forest? Ask her, Give her a microphone, ask her, do you recognize your transgressions? And she understands transgressions. Hey, mommy, explain to her what's transgression. And she says, can I just play by myself? You get to play with adults now. We're bored to death. This is important. We're not talking about just us adults. We're also talking about children. That's my point. Do they recognize their own transgressions? She says, Mommy didn't teach me. Can I go play? Okay. How do you recognize your own transgression? How do you see your own transgressions? Let me explain it to you. Even if you're not fighting anyone or you're not, you don't have any issues, how do you see your own transgressions? Go ahead, Kong. No Kong? Okay.
주민님이 단톡방에 올린 것입니다. 예전에는 이 잘못이 생긴 원인을 파악하는 데 중점을 뒀다면 보산사에 다니면서는 참회를 하고 당사자들에게 사과를 하고 이 잘못을 어떻게 고칠까 노력합니다. 자신의 잘못을 계속 볼 수 있었던 것은 자신의 잘못과 자신을 동일시하지 않습니다.
Before, I was trying to find out the cause of a problem, but after I going to the Jewel Mount Temple, I do repentance, I do apologize, and I'm trying to find out how to fix my problem. So I can see my transgression by not identifying myself and transgression.
Okay, very good. Transgression here refers to bad karmas. Is that clear? Okay, Guo here is mistakes. Mistake here means bad karmas. If you produce good karmas, what do? Nothing. Is that, you have a question 3? Or you just hold it ready for the next question? 3.
3 more. When you're
Yes, 3 more.
Leo states, when I'm afflicted, I notice there's something wrong.
Definitely. That's very perceptive.
And YongHua states, it violates the...
YongHua is a sister of the band president here. YongHua. Yeah. Very good. Mm-hmm. Your accent is pretty good. I would vote you to be Vietnamese emeritus.
Yeah, that's it.
Very good. Okay. So, transgression here refers you are doing something wrong. Okay? You're creating the wrong karmas. You're creating the bad karmas. Am I correct? Is that clear? So, what is a bad karma? Karmas involves body, mouth, or mind. Do we agree on that? By definition, karma is something, an action you create with your body, like stealing, mouth, like scolding someone, insulting someone, arguing with someone. Is arguing with someone considered bad karma? Yes or no? What happens in Shud? Okay. For sensuous sake, arguing someone is also wrong. Okay? In absentia, we will not let her go off that easy. Okay? To argue with someone is also wrong. Am I correct, Billy? Speak. You used to argue with my Mi-Fan's aunt, I'm told. We are revealing everyone's faults.
Excuse me, Master. This morning I have
No, let's go back to the aunt.
Yeah. It's about the arguments. I went to Starbucks.
No, what about the aunt? Forget about Starbucks for now.
Yeah, so...
Did you argue with the aunt?
The aunt?
Violently.
Yeah, well...
Yeah? I mean, he said, yeah, hey, what else is new? Hey.
I have did a lot arguments the rest of my life, and I know it's wrong, but I don't look at people's...
So you're creating mouth karmas by arguing with the aunt.
Exactly. So my mistake, I tried to fix it for years and years, and I couldn't get over with it.
Okay, never mind by years. We talk about specifics. Okay, we're not talking about, yes, I make a lot of mistakes, I'm so sorry. No! When you look at your own transgressions, we're talking about which ones, specifics. We're not talking, I'm so sorry, like Yin says, I'm old, I created a lot of transgressions, I'm so sorry. No. When you look at your own transgressions, it refers to which particular one we did. Is that clear? It's not theory. It's not, I'm so sorry I created offenses like Billy is about to do. Okay, no. You talk about specific. It says, before Mi-Fan's left, during that her tenure at Lu Mountain Temple, I argued with her aunt a lot. We butted heads. Am I correct? We can't hear you.
Correct.
Double correct, not just correct. And what did you do about it?
I prayed for my mistake. That's all about I can do.
No, you prayed that she would disappear on the face of the earth.
Not really. I wouldn't.
You prayed that she would go away.
I wouldn't go that far, Master. As the points that she left, everybody left, I felt a little bit something's different at the house. I go, hey,
you feel better when she left?
Nobody's arguing with me anymore.
Oh, that's so much better. Life is so much happier. Okay, I hear you. Okay. Oh, very good. Thank you for your contribution. Terrible person. Yes, 3.
Yeah, we have some few comments here, Master.
Oh no, a few comments only. I think that the switchboard should be all lit up, Go ahead.
Force unification, Alex says, as a child we listen to our conscience. As an adult we follow the law. As a Buddhist we compare our actions to the precepts in the Vinaya.
I also will name you Sanskrit emeritus member. Yeah, Vinaya is pretty good. Vinaya also works. Okay, very good. I thought there's a few more.
Yes, Goldforce Daniel comments, when you realize you're seeking for happiness externally.
That's a mistake. Okay, go on.
Once again,
next one.
Alex is commenting, I can recognize my body karma transgressions and speech karma transgressions, but how do you recognize your mind karma?
Okay, very good. How do you recognize your mind transgressions? French girl, how do you recognize your mind transgressions? You know why I call her French girl? Because Francis is of France. That's what it means. Francis is its French product. How do you recognize your mind transgressions? 3.
Alta D states, I notice when I say mean things to people, bad things happen to my mouth, like my teeth hurt or I have sores or cuts.
Very good. And clearly Alta D does it often. Anyone else, how do you recognize your mind transgressions? This is important, folks. We're not talking about concepts here. We're talking about transgressions. You know all the things you know in the world. You're so smart. You know how to build a bridge. You know how to build skyscrapers. You know how to make money. Are you capable of recognizing your own transgressions? It sounds like this is even more important than making money, more important than success in life. Doesn't it sound like to you? This is from a very wise man. He says, I don't care how successful you are, okay? How smart you are. Are you constantly seeing your own transgressions? 贤顺, it's about time you come. Huh? You see, I knew it. The Koreans, they don't talk about their own transgressions. They're all quiet. They say, what transgressions? We don't have any transgressions. If I told them about my transgression, the whole Korea would know about it. It's not going to work. Huh? How do you see your mind transgressions? This is so fundamental. You've been practicing doing Chan meditation how long now? 15 years? Huh? How do you see your mind transgression, Master Old Abbot? He said, oh, can I just sleep? What's a mind transgression? They come to you and say, Master YongHua says, you should look at your own transgression. How do you recognize your own mind transgression? 8.
Trước nhất thì mình nhìn vào giới luật coi mình có phạm không. Rồi thứ hai là mình so sánh là có làm cái gì mà lợi cho mình mà hại người khác hay không.
Okay, very good. Q&A. This is fundamental, folks. There's no beating around the bush. This is either yes or no. Okay? It's black or white. There's nothing in between. Q&A, go ahead. Is that little girl now ready to speak, or she's I'd rather lie on the carpet?
It's a big girl, Master. I think when I have false thoughts, which pretty much when I think, I look at the thoughts, and then that's a mind transgression.
A mind transgression. Yes, 3.
Gold Forest Daniel reports, you feel darkness in your mind.
Darkness in your mind. Very good. Chánh Phong, how do you recognize mind transgression, sir? This guy has been all over. Vietnamese, Chinese, monks, you name it, he's been through them all. He says, none as good as, you know.
Emitofuo Master, I agree with Chun that when you think that you you have transgression.
No! You cannot be wrong together. That's illegal. Liang, is she there or is she still busy cooking? Kong, go ahead. How do you recognize mind transgression? You practice and you don't even know what a mind transgression is? My God. No wonder Master Hui Neng has to remind you, you should be constantly seeing your mind transgressions.
입지윤혜선님이 올려주신 답입니다. 불쾌하거나 불편할 때 또 부정적인 생각이 일어날 때 스스로의 잘못을 돌아보게 됩니다. 편안할 때는 자신을 돌아보는 일이 없는 것 같아요.
When I feel uncomfortable, when I have a negative thinking, then I can look for my transgression. When I'm comfortable, I don't see myself.
You're comfortable, you cannot see myself. Okay? Only when she's not comfortable, that's when she sees transgressions. Okay? Do you agree with that? When you're comfortable, it's no mind transgressions? Huh? 3.
Leo says, when I get afflicted, I can see I have transgressions in my mind.
Transgressions. What kind of transgressions? Can you ask her? Yeah, what kind of transgressions? Now we're curious. We all want to know when she's afflicted, what kind of transgression does she have? Now all of Korea would find out.
No answer.
Okay. Let me ask you this, give an example. Okay? I want a bigger temple. Is that a transgression? Yes, in the back.
Master, I think no. If your mind is thinking of helping other people, benefiting other people, it's not a transgression.
Bless your heart. But why is this transgression? This is very important, folks. I know this is what you and monks and nuns indulge in yourself. You said, I just want a big temple because I want to save more people. I can serve Mahayana better. There's nothing wrong with that. Why is it a transgression? Yes, one.
Is it transgression because you can't be happy with what you have already?
You can't be happy with what you have already. Okay, very good. Because it's motivated by greed. It's so subtle that you want a big temple, and you give the excuse, I want a big temple because I can save more people, I can help take care of more people, I bring more attention to Mahayana, but actually underneath all that is driven by greed. It's so subtle. Like someone says, I want to become enlightened. Why? Because then I can help Master more. And I love you. You're so adorable. I don't deserve this. Okay? What is that? My point here is that mind transgressions are the thoughts that are, number one, based on greed, number two, based on Malcolm.
Anger.
Very good. Okay, Vicky and Malcolm together. And number three, based on
stupidity.
Okay. So see how teamwork and what kind of, how wonderful teamwork is, huh? Malcolm. Okay. Here's a definition. If you have thoughts that are created from greed, from anger, from stupidity, that is a transgression of the mind. Is it clear? Okay. I'm not talking about a common, at the normal level for worldly people. Worldly people are driven by thoughts of greed, of anger, of stupidity. Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm raising my hand. Look, the Koreans, none of them has their hand raising. They said, no, we're above this, we are Koreans. Yes, 9. This is so important. You gloss over this. This is an instruction from Great Master Huineng. And you say, oh, I understand. I look at my own transgression. But then I ask you, what is mind transgression? I don't know. Yes, 9.
So, Master, we don't need another larger temple.
Speak for yourself. Anyone else? Yes, 1.
Thoughts of lust is like a mind transgression. So then, to take it to another level would be like to go out and act upon it and go get a prostitute or something, and that's the bad karma.
Remember, we still have kids here in the audience. Let's not go there. Okay. There's a girl there in Gold Forest, and I hate to have her mother explain to her what Jesus talked about, the P word. Okay? Let's not go there. Okay? But no comment. See, the girl is right in the center of the screen. Be careful, guys. Okay, very good. So mind transgression is based on thoughts based on greed, anger, and stupidity. And therefore, when the Great Master says, seeing your own transgression means that when the thoughts arise in your mind, can you see the origin of those thoughts? Is it thoughts of anger? Billy? Huh? Is it thoughts of greed? Brady? Okay. How about thoughts of stupidity? Master Xianjie. I'm just picking names from the straw hat. Don't get offended. Okay? Is that clear? Those are mind transgression. We're not talking about whether I know or not, or your mother knows or not. The thoughts, the mind transgression are you know yourself. That's important. If you have a thought in your mind, and it says, I want more money, that woman there, she says, I came here very hard, my lives are hard, I just want more money so that I can leave for my kids, and my kids can have a good life. That is a transgression. Is it clear? Do you understand? This is what the Patriarch is teaching. You look at yourself. You don't look at others. Whatever others think about, Malcolm thinks about, none of your business. He's telling you, look at your own thoughts, your own mind. The thoughts you've been thinking, are they from greed, from anger, from stupidity? If there are, then you are having a mind transgression. Is it clear? No excuses. Yes or no, that's all. Okay? Going back to the young lady in Kong who says, well, I'm comfortable, I have no transgression. Are you sure that when you're comfortable, you have no mind transgression? I'm asking her point blank. Ru Shu, do you have mind transgression? You comfortable or not? She says, let me think. Should I go deeper into my mind or not? She said, oh, this is a tough decision. Oh. She says, he's waiting for me to give him an answer.
죄송해요. 잘 모르겠습니다.
Just because you're going to pick up my people from San Jose from the airport doesn't mean we spare you.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
You don't know when you're comfortable, you have no mind transgression? You have no thoughts of anger, no thoughts of greed, no thoughts of stupidity. I would tell you right now, when you're comfortable, you are guilty of mind transgressions. Which ones? Thoughts of stupidity. Think. It's a fact. Yes or no? Is it YongHua just walked in there and Kong? Okay. Okay. So, yes, 3.
Gold Force Daniel says, thoughts formed from anger and greed seem easier to detect, but how can we recognize a thought formed from stupidity?
Oh, eventually you see thought stupidity. You say, oh, what a stupid thought. That's a natural for me. You know, the thought, right? Oh, that's so stupid. Because I have no more anger, I have no more greed. I'm perfectly happy with my temples. I don't want a bigger temple. I'm not angry at you. No such thoughts. But thought stupidity all the time. Kong, go ahead.
네, 입지윤의 선님의 답변입니다. 마인드 트랜스그레션은 언제든 일어나지만 편안할 때는 그걸 알아차리지 못하고 있습니다.
There is always mind transgression, but when I feel comfortable, I can't recognize it.
Who said that?
Yoon Son.
Okay.
Venerable X's sister.
Okay. Okay, and then you have no mind transgressions. What can we say? We can't force it upon her. Okay? Okay, what about mouth transgression? How do you recognize mouth transgression? You create mouth transgression because when you lie and you curse, when you have double tongue, or you engage in frivolous speech. 4 types of mouth karmas. You lie, you curse, you are double tongue. You say one thing to A and say something else to B in order to cause them to have conflict amongst them. Okay. Number 4, you have frivolous speech. You say nonsense. For example, the nonsense that men say to girls. Do you understand Malcolm without going to the P thing? Okay? So this is called frivolous speech. It's an offense, by the way. Okay? The frivolous speech. You waste people's time. Jewel Kong, go ahead.
어리석어서 수행을 하고 있는데 그럼 수행을 하면 덜 어리석게 살 수 있는 건가요?
I cultivate because I'm stupid. If I cultivate, can I become less stupid?
Yes, I guarantee it. Oh, wait, I'm lying. Sorry, okay. Yes, I hope so. It would natural. This is why when you look, and that we're going to go there next, okay? Hang in there, okay? Okay. What about, so there are 4 mouth transgressions. And what about the body transgressions? What are the 3 body transgressions? Killing? Yes. To kill is a body transgression. What else? Stealing is a body transgression. What else? The S thing. Okay, Ngọc, you know the S thing? You know, the S one. Okay, you don't know, ask mommy. Okay? So those are the body transgressions. So the point being that the Master Huineng says, seeing your own transgression is that you are looking at yourself critically. He says, am I committing a body offense? Am I stealing? When you meditate, are you stealing with your body? It's very hard. We keep all the precious things away from you. We lock them up. Okay? So it's very difficult for you to commit body offenses when you practice, when you meditate. Is it clear? So when you meditate, you're not having any body transgressions. Am I correct? You're free from that. Okay. Are you committing mouth transgressions? You better not. You're not supposed to make any sounds. Is that clear? So when you meditate, all of a sudden, the Chan meditation, you are not committing any body transgressions, no mouth transgressions. And what does it mean? You are, when you're not creating transgression, what are you doing? You're creating blessings for yourself. Isn't that cool? You're making money. I mean blessings. Seriously, it's the great thing that I stuck in my mind. Okay, I always think everything in terms of monetizing. Like Peter tells me, faster, gotta find a way to monetize your Dharma. Okay? You got the point? When you meditate, you don't commit any body karma, you don't create any mouth karmas, and that's why you are accruing, you are creating tremendous blessings. Think about it. The mere fact of sitting there and doing nothing is actually doing something very beneficial for you. Is that clear? Now, let's talk to the people at Kong. When you're comfortable, are you creating blessings? Not necessarily. Okay? You're creating a lot more blessings when you meditate. Instead of being comfortable, you should meditate. Is that clear? Don't be attached to being comfortable, being happy, because that is not helping you create blessings. Worldly people seek happiness. Actually, happiness is suffering. Just remember that. Okay? So don't be comfortable. Don't seek comfort. Don't seek leisure. Okay? So far, so good. What about mind blessings, mind karmas? Okay, a little bit more subtle. The body karma, you refrain yourself from doing anything that's called no body transgression. You shut your mouth, you don't open your mouth, okay? You don't say anything that you are creating no mouth transgressions. Is it clear? However, the mind still thinks. Yes, 3.
Yes, Cordelia asks, if I have a thought, I create mind karma.
What kind of thought? Can you tell us what kind of thought? Cordelia is conversing with us from work, you know that. So what kind of is that? What kind of transgression is that? No answer? Or give her time. Okay. So, assuming when you meditate and a thought arises, usually is driven by the 3 karmas: greed, anger, and stupidity. You don't say, oh, I don't have any anger. I say, okay, no problem. How about greed? I say, no, I don't have any greed. Then you probably are stupid. Is that clear? Stupid is kind of catch-all. So far, so good. So when you meditate, when you have a thought arises, most likely from ordinary people in the world who practice the way, it's a mind karma. Let's be clear about it. If you have a thought, you're creating mind karmas. Okay? Typically, for worldly people in the world, those thoughts are driven by greed, anger, and stupidity. And if you practice Chan, you enter Samadhi, you enter first dhyana, second dhyana, third dhyana, fifth Samadhi, and so forth, what happens? You're creating no mind karmas. Therefore, what are you doing? You're creating even more blessings. That's why when you practice Chan, you generate a lot of blessings, folks. A lot of blessings. Yes, 1.
Master, what if during Chan meditation and you can recite the Buddha's name and focus on that half the time, is that even more blessings?
That's also creating blessings as well. Yes. Okay, when you recite the Buddha's name, are you creating mouth karmas? No. Don't answer that. Let me answer for you. Okay, when you recite Buddha's name, you're not creating any mouth karmas.
가 그쪽으로 넘어가나요?
What? What did I do? Okay, you're not creating mouth karmas. Are you creating body karmas? No, you're not. Are you creating mind karmas? If you only single-mindedly focus on reciting Buddha's name, there's no mind karma, by the way. What happened to the applause sign, CNC? Got that? Isn't it beautiful? Just recite the Buddha's name. Just recite Guan Yin's name. Okay? You are creating no mouth, no mind karmas. So you're creating no transgressions. How is that? So ask that old woman there in the back, spy number 1. Okay? When you stay home, are you creating karmas or not?
Mô Phật. Hồi trẻ thì có, bây giờ lớn rồi tạo không nổi nữa tạo. Hết sức mà tạo rồi. Mô Phật.
Okay.
Emitofuo Master, when I was young, I can create karma, but now I'm getting old, I don't have enough energy to exhaust, so I cannot create karma.
Okay, let's dig deeper into this. We're not done yet, folks. We're not done. This is such an important teaching that people gloss over it at their own risk and peril. Okay? This is why the sixth patriarch teaching is so profound. It sounds so simple. Actually, it's very, very profound. I'm gonna dissect it for you and reveal everything. Okay? So far you agree that you can see your own transgression. Is that clear? Because when you look at the 3 kinds of karma you have, mouth, mind, and the body, and you say, okay, I'm not doing anything here, therefore I have no body karmas. I'm not saying anything because Master would beat me up if I open my mouth. I have no mouth karmas. Okay? All that's left is my mind karmas, and it's none of Master's business. I'm not going to tell him anything about my mind karmas. No problems. Okay? So far, so good? Okay. So you see your own transgressions. And so constantly here refers to the fact that you're looking for it. You're looking for it. Don't ignore it. Okay? Like Ru Shu in Kong, who says, I'm comfortable, I have no problems. No. When you're comfortable, are you creating mind karmas or not? The thoughts of comfort, the thoughts that you like it, are they driven by greed, anger, and stupidity? If they are, then you're creating mind karmas. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, very good. Next. He's not done. And this is why, to me, it's a shame that his disciples, the Chinese, never ask this, never push this to the hilt. Okay? So you see your own transgression, and then what? Why no one ever asked when I explained this the first time, Chinese style? No one asked. So I said, oh, but you're not Chinese. Yes, 8.
Thầy, cái Hòa Thượng còn dạy cao hơn nữa là cái ý thấy lỗi mình nó bỏ luôn, nó không có thấy cái gì hết. Thầy thiện ác thì bỏ luôn, không có nhìn. Khi nó khởi lên là drop, nó không có cái hành động drop nữa, tức là lập lơ nó luôn.
Emitofuo, the thing that Venerable Huay Neng teach is even further than that, meaning that even the thought of itself, we should drop it. Don't even think of wholesome deed, wholesome or evil.
Okay. So now you are constantly, you often see your own 3 types of karmas, your own transgressions. Ask yourself, what do you do about them? I'm asking you. What do you do, sir? What do you do? 醒了, don't sleep. What do you do? what do you do?
Hello. Dạ thưa thầy, sám hối.
Emitofuo, Master, I repent.
You, the purple one, what do you do when you see your own transgressions? What do you do?
I feel really bad.
You feel really bad. What do you do when you see your own transgressions? That woman there, the old woman. What do you do?
Mình thấy mình có cái tội lỗi thì mình phải thức tỉnh.
Okay?
Emitofuo, Master, if I see my transgression, I have to wake up on it.
Okay, let's go to Jewel Mountain Temple. They've been getting a free ride on all of us. I'm asking all the people there at Jewel Mountain Temple, what do you do when you see your own mind transgression, body transgressions, mouth transgressions? What do you do? If you don't answer me, I will call you by names. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. If no one says anything, I will call you by names. I don't know that many of you. I'm warning you. I call the people I know. Speak. What do you do when you see your own transgressions? Jumi's husband.
신의 잘못을 보면 정당화를 합니다.
He says, I repent to my wife.
성수님 영어로 해주세요.
I justify myself.
To justify himself. And she said, no, it's not an offense. Really, it's not an offense. I said, oh, I didn't mean it. This doesn't count. Okay? Anyone else from Jewel Mountain Temple? Ipche, when you see your own transgression, what do? These Koreans, you have to force them. Yeah, beat them up or something.
마스터, 좋은 법문 감사합니다. 저는 딸아이하고
He says,
마스터 만나면 가끔 좀 다퉜습니다.
she says, it's all my daughter's fault. I'm fine by myself. It's she who picks a fight with me.
저희 안 들리는데요. We cannot hear you.
I know. I may have told you this. You know that I spend tens of thousands of dollars on audio video.
지금도 마찬가지인데요.
Okay. Translation. Partial translation. I don't want to remind them, but I spent a lot of money in Jewel Mountain Temple audio video system. More than 50. And this is what they have. The Korean system is so unreliable. Okay, while they're working on it, let's pick on another person. You mean, is she there? What do you do when you see your own transgressions? Maybe we have better luck with that girl. And conveniently, they still have audio-video problems. Yeah? If this were in America, you know what I would tell you? You were fired.
지금 말씀하세요.
소리 들려요, 스님?
Now we can
네,
hear
지금
you.
빨리 하세요.
Speak quickly.
선물을 받다가 그걸 좀 일부러 그러는 건지 모르겠지만 잊어버리려고 하는 회피하는 경향이 있는 것 같습니다.
I'm trying to forget it. I'm trying to avoid it.
Okay, so when she sees her own transgression, she says, I don't see nothing. Is it what she means?
일부러 그러는 건 아닌데.
I'm not doing intentionally.
Okay, very good. Okay. I'm trying to bring you to this realization. What do you think when normal people out there, your neighbors, your colleagues, your peers at school, at work, when they see your own transgression, they realize they're lying, for example, what do you think they do? What do you think people do when they see their own transgressions? Yes, 9.
Master, I think the human tendency is that we lie to ourselves. We make up excuses.
We, people in the world, I'm unanimous about this, will make excuses. Yes? At work, they say, no, I didn't mean it. Yes? You got me wrong. I'm not like that. I'm actually a very nice guy. Yes? And that's the difference between them and us. People in the world, when they realize they make a mistake, they have a transgression, what do? They make excuses, they deny, they lie about it. Yes? Sounds familiar? Unless you cultivate, okay? Because they don't cultivate. It's perfectly acceptable. Don't get caught. That's the mantra. Super hurt. Don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught, super hurt. Agree? Okay? That's the way of the world. But for us cultivators, what are we supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? What I heard so far of all you special and very nice and good people, okay? Or future good people, okay? You know it's wrong. Yes? What's important is when you see your own transgression, people know it's wrong. But the people who don't cultivate, they deny it, they take evasive actions, and they say, let's not get caught. Right? For us cultivators, what do? Yes, hand them back.
Master, I would bring forth of great shame in trying to change it.
You try to change it, you see? Another special person. Before, I'm talking about him personally. When he first came to the temple, okay? And he says, I like this temple. Oh, I feel so peaceful. Okay? Can I stay here? I said, okay, yeah, you can stay here. Back then, Blue Mountain Temple, we desperate. He should have asked me, how much are you paying for me to stay and cultivate with you? And I said, $5 a week. But he didn't say anything, so I said, oh yeah, you can stay here. Okay? And what did he do when at the time, Ahung, when you realized that you made a mistake, what did you do?
Back then, I would lie about it.
You would lie about it. Shame on you. I thought you were a nice person. Oh my God. How could you mislead me?
Master, back in the day, I was so weak that
You're so weak?
What I did is I tried to avoid problem. And
That's what is called a worldly person at the temple. He stays at the temple, wears novice uniforms, but his heart is weak. He says, I will not get caught. Correct? Because he says he's weak. Why do you think we make you sit there and endure the pain and suffering? Because it makes you stronger, less fearful. Worldly people are afraid. They don't want to be caught. They don't want to get in trouble. They can avoid it by all means. The end justifies the means. Sounds right? I don't even know what it means anymore. Okay? But the point here is that worldly people are scared. So that means that worldly people, they live scared. Is that clear? Do we agree on that? That's not a way of life. They live scared to be caught. They commit transgressions left and right, and they say, I'm not going to admit it. I'm going to gloss over it. I don't want people to find out. And if people find out, we'll lie about it. Sounds familiar? So people in the world live a peaceful, poor life. They're scared. Huh? They live in denial. The reason I say that is not to criticize worldly people, is to contrast with, what Master Huineng, disciples, students are supposed to do. When they constantly see their own transgression, do you think his disciples, his students would deny it? Yes or no? What do you think? Will they deny it? No! What do you have to think? My God, what kind of people are you? He said, oh, we are Americans. This is only for the Chinese. Okay, my point here is that for the people who meditate like you, who recite mantras like you, who recite Buddha's name like you, who come to the temple and cross your legs and listen to lectures like you, are unlikely to deny, to defend yourself, to justify, to lie, to sweep under the rugs, because that would be against cultivation. Agree? Thank you. The two of you. I like the two of you. Isn't it beautiful? He does not even have to tell us what to do. He knows if you're willing to look your own transgressions. Listen to me carefully, Koreans. It's about you looking your own transgressions, not about what your neighbors think about it, or talk about it, or say about it, or judge you. Okay? You simply look at your own transgression. Okay? If others said, she's, if others gossip about it, none of your business. You don't worry about it. They're creating mouth karmas. It's their problems. Is that clear? You should not live in fear of what your neighbors might say, your mother might say, your sister might say, your best friend might say. Okay? You mind your business. You look at your own transgressions only. You don't talk about others' transgression, because if you do, what is that called? You're creating mouth karmas. Isn't it beautiful? The teaching is contained within itself because you know what to do. He doesn't have to tell you what to do. Because that's your Buddha nature right there, who says, I'm going to do the right thing because it's in my heart. I'm come to this temple because I want to learn the right things and do the right things. That's what makes you special. So, Vicky, do I need a bigger temple? Careful now, careful, because you'll be shot this time.
Sure.
See, this woman still lives in fear. Okay, do you understand now how beautiful the teaching is here? Look at your own transgressions, and if it doesn't bother you, no problem, be yourself. But if it bothers you, then you naturally, they said it already in Korea, they will repent, they feel bad, they will try not to avoid, they will avoid making the same transgression again. That's natural, that's human nature. Okay, what about those who says, I don't have any issues? Guess what? I didn't make that transgression. Guess what? Do you know anyone around you who does that? Hong, do you know anyone around you who does it? No. They're gone already, or they will leave in the future. Do we have to do anything? No. Let you create your own karmas. Let you decide what you want to do. You want to lie, you want to deny, you want to live in fear, so be it. Because you do that, you will leave on your own accord. You will stop cultivating on your own accord. We don't need to do anything. Is it clear, Koreans? You don't need to say anything, you don't need to judge them at all. They will leave on your own accord. So, all you have to do is look at, constantly meaning that, look for it. Don't look at his transgression. Don't look at her transgression. Don't criticize that woman back there. She's a spy number one. We all know it already. Okay? You don't need to criticize her. We know her. Look at her. Spy number one. What else is there to say? Okay? And constantly meaning that if you're doing something constantly, do you have time to look at her transgression? If I look at her transgression, am I still constantly looking at my own transgression? Of course not. Isn't it beautiful? You don't need to tell them, hey, This is what's so beautiful about the instruction of Master Huineng. He says, he doesn't have to say, why don't you stop looking at Xian Liao's transgressions? She has a lot. Look at her. You can tell. Huh? Right? How about the girl from France? Oh, there's too many transgressions, even many more than, huh? We all know, right? I mean, she's hiding behind those screens. You can't even barely see her eyes. You see that? Okay? You don't have to do anything. You only look at your own transgression. You don't look at others, because that's what constantly means. Constantly here also means never look at others' transgressions. So what do you do when you see the transgression, let's say spy number 1? What do you do? Huh? What do you do when you see her transgressions? Koreans. What do you see when you see your neighbor's transgression, the one that sits right next to you? Okay, since they're not answering me, they're not cooperating, I will name names. Okay? Young Sung, what do you do when you see your neighbor's transgression? You fight with her, you argue with her. Give her a microphone, we ain't going nowhere. We have sound. You say, oh, it's not working anymore. Huh? What do you do? I would tell you what she did. I don't know what she's doing anymore. I tell you what she did. She did. At Wei Mountain Temple, when she saw Ipche's transgressions, what did Young Sung do? Here in the kitchen. What happened to Xian Tong? Xian Shun. No, Xian Shun knows everything. Xian Shun. What did Young Sung do when she saw Yipche's transgressions? 9. Okay, Young Sung is not me. It's Xian Shun, okay?
They spoke in Korean, so I have no idea.
This woman is lying to her teeth. Shame on you. You knew. You don't have to speak Korean. This is so untrue. Shame on you. That's called mouth transgression.
When I'm finally being honest, you don't believe me.
You see, this is why the Koreans struggle. We pull out, we open the curtain and expose everything and say, whoa, it's too much light. Can we just close the curtain a little bit, dim the lights, so that we don't have to see that so closely each other's faults and transgressions? And let Jumi talk about her own transgressions. Huh? Yes, too.
Mô Phật và Thầy, mình mà thấy cái lỗi của người ta đó thì mình Mô Phật và Thầy, miễn mà mình có thấy cái lỗi lầm của người ta đó thì mình sẽ thức tỉnh. Đã mình có trí huệ rồi, mà mình khổ một cái mà mình không có thấy đó là mới là khổ. Mô Phật.
Emitofuo, Master, if we see other people's mistake, then that means that you already have your wisdom. But if you are suffering and you don't see it, it's truly suffering.
Okay, very good. I'm going to ask one more question. Yeah, go ahead. There's a question first.
Master, this is from Draw Mountain Temple's Master Z.
Yes.
Song, please translate it. 지금 보산사 데스크탑에 문제가 생겨서 맥북으로 작동 중인데 아직 강설을 위한 준비가 완전하지 않았습니다. 죄송합니다. 라고 말씀을 전해달라고 하셨습니다.
Now in the Jewel Mountain Temple, we have a problem in the desktop. So we are using our MacBook, but we are not ready for the lecture. Sorry for that.
Did you know I spent a lot of money on Koreans? They're so undependable. Yeah. Okay. Anyone has any questions? Anyone would like to make a confession? JMT, go ahead, JMT.
스타, 죄송합니다. 옳고 그름을 보지 않으려고 노력합니다. 근데 그게 완전하게 잘 되지는 않는데 노력합니다. 참여합니다.
I'm sorry, Master. I'm trying not to see it right and wrong. I'm trying, but it's not working. So I do repentance.
Okay. But it's okay. I forgive you. I'm going there soon. We can push so far, Okay, it's much more comfortable when there's a distance, ocean away. What Master Huineng is teaching us is that you simply look at your own transgressions and decide yourself what to do about it. That's all he says. I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is why I love about this. He says, I won't tell you. I see with me personally, I say, how could you, right? And I make you feel guilty, try to make you feel guilty. Master Huineng says, you just look at your own constantly, that's all. And I stop here. I leave it at that. Classy teacher. Is it clear? Don't you love it? Huh? I mean, I feel like bowing, think, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Isn't it beautiful, the teaching? Huh? We are so coarse compared to him. He says, my job is done. All I want you to buy into is constantly look at your own transgressions. It's beautiful. I never saw anyone teach his students this such a beautiful fashion. Huh? It's so classy. For example, at work, you find someone, an employee, subordinate who's a leech and lies his way through, and and makes excuses and so forth. Huh? Malcolm, huh? What do? Nothing. Don't have to accuse them. Don't have to make them look bad. They will make themselves look bad by their own actions. We don't need to do anything. I'm not talking about simply cultivators. I'm talking about your daily lives. Have some class, folks. Is that clear? You know, Ahong, you know, he thought that he could lie his way through and sweep things under the rugs. Guess what? Everyone knew. We didn't say anything. Do you know that Ahong? People came to me and said, you know, Master Ahong did that. I said, oh yeah, I said, what else? What else? What else did he do? I have this 20 gigabytes of the offenses you created. Okay? And what did we do? Nothing. Because it's meant for you to decide what to do about it yourself. We are not supposed to punish you. We're not supposed to make you feel bad. Okay? It's your life. That's called respect. You choose to live your own life the way you see fit, and we respect that. You wait, your own karmas will take care of itself. Is it clear, old monk? Don't need to judge people. You know? Okay? All we do is teach people to constantly see their own transgressions. We don't yell at them. We don't scream at them. I don't care. I'm only screaming at them because I'm manic. But in normal days, I don't scream at them. Well, I'm not sick mentally. I'm a very nice person. But it's very rare for me, you know. On normal days, I'm very bipolar. Got that? I don't want you to scream at people, even if they're wrong. Why look at you do that? I speak from my heart. Don't speak from your heart. Look at your own transgressions. That's all. You say, yes, 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 you're right. You understand? How dare you stop me from speaking from my heart? Oh, no. You know, you listen and say, oh, you're creating mild transgression. And that's it. That's called class. You're supposed to be classy. That's why I named you Abbot. I need you to learn to be more classy. I'm the bad guy. You the classy guy. Remember, I'm bipolar. It feels so much better now. Xinan, you agree? Okay? If you constantly see your own transgressions, you are in accord with the way. This verse here, I love it. It encapsulates the wisdom of the great patriarch. Put it into practice, you will become enlightened and open your pasture wisdom. Guaranteed. Jewel Kong.
네, 감사합니다, 마스터. 그 여쭤볼 질문의 맥락을 방금 전 단락에서 마스터께서 말씀을 잠깐 언급을 해주셨는데요. 그 직장에서의 어떤 그 이제 그 제 패턴에 있어서 이제 그 밑에 관리하는 직원들이나 어떤 그 거래선들의 이제 그런 어떤 잘못을 볼 때가 있었습니다. 그러면은 이렇게 개념이 없지 이런 식으로 남의 잘못을 먼저 투영을 하는 게 일상이었었는데 최근에는 법문을 들으면서 저 자신을 먼저 반추하려고 노력을 하고 있습니다. 여기까지 일단 해석 부탁드리겠습니다.
Before you translate, it's so typical YongHua to wait until 2:30 to ask me a question. He had like an hour already, and he had to wait until the class is over, the lecture is over, okay? But you know what? I'm not looking at his transgression, I'm looking at my own transgression. Translation.
Thank you, Master. You already told me what I want to ask, but in my work, seeing my pattern, I usually blame others. I usually see others' transgression, my employer or coworker, but I'm trying to see my own transgression nowadays.
Right. And you don't do anything about others' transgression. It's not your jobs. It's very important. We endure their transgression. We say nothing because we don't want to create transgressions ourselves. That's what the teaching is. You see your own transgressions, and by looking at your own transgression constantly, you are stopping yourself from creating transgressions. So you do nothing.
그런데 이제 그래서 먼저 일단 저 자신을 투영을 하고 제 자신의 이제 탐진치를 보려고 노력은 하고 있습니다. 노력은 잘 안 되지만 노력은 해서 될 때도 있는데 이제 여쭤보자 하는 것은 그렇게 제 마음을 이제 캄다운 시키고 제 안에 이제 탐진치를 어느 정도 이제 좀 소멸을 시킨 다음에 이런 생각이 들 때가 있습니다. 저 친구 그러니까 직원이죠. 저 직원의 뭐라 그래야 되나요? 그러니까 제 자신을 이제 어느 정도 그 번뇌를 없앤 다음에 저 직원의 어떤 잘못된 어떤 업무 패턴이라든지 그런 행동을 교정해 주기 위해서 최대한 번뇌 없이 좀 소프트하게나마 어떤 그 지침이나 이런 원리들을 얘기를 해줘야 되는 건 아닌가 하고 이제 그런 이제 생각이 들 때가 있거든요. 예전에는 뭐 번뇌 있이 뭐 넌 이렇게 했어야 돼 이런 식으로 했었다면 지금은 그 번뇌를 없앤 상태에서 좀 차분한 상태에서 행동 교정을 위해서 그 사람이 개선되기 위해서 어떤 거를 소프트하게 제안해줘야 되는 건 아닌가 하고 생각할 때가 있는데 이 부분은 어떻게 좀 해야 되는지 요거조차도 하지 말고 저 자신을 계속 반추해야 되는 건지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
So I'm trying to remove my greed, anger, and stupidity. So sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to calm down my mind and trying to get rid of my greed, anger, and stupidity. And then I look others' transgression, and I'm trying to correct their way. So I want to know whether is it okay to advise to their way without my affliction, or should I not do that?
It's not your job to correct others. Okay? It's not your job. If you are, for example, a manager or department head and so forth, the responsibilities are different. Now we're talking about not only yourself, but also your work responsibilities, carrying out your responsibilities to your bosses. So there's always a fine line there. You need to make a call, okay, at work, so it's not that rigid. But when we cultivate at a temple, let's keep it simple. You go to the temple, you constantly look for your own transgressions. Don't look at others. Don't fight with others because they make transgressions. Okay? That's all you do. At work, yeah, you need to have some more gray zones and so forth. But work is different from cultivation. That's all. The master, the great teacher says, when you cultivate, you come to the temple, you want to cultivate, constantly look at your own transgressions. That's all. It's that simple. Does it help? It's beautiful. That's why we spent the entire 2 hours of this lecture talking about this. It's so important, very profound teaching here that we can use in our daily lives. Okay? Let's say at the temple, be that way 100%. At home, now you have to be more, you can experiment. Because remember, at the temple, at our temple in particular, we all are supposed to be cultivating. So it's okay. But at home, your family members may not be cultivating, therefore you need to exercise judgment. Be careful. That's all. Okay? But at the temple, by all means, 100% constantly seeing your own transgression. That is, you are in accord with the way. That is, you are cultivating the way properly. That's all. Does it help? Okay? That's all we talk about. Especially you monks and nuns, you are here 24 hours a day, except for when you have a run on to Starbucks, okay? And sneak out to Starbucks, I understand it. When you go to Starbucks, it's different. But when you're here, 100% constantly looking at your own transgressions. That's all you do. If you see someone else making a transgression and you say, how could Ahung do that? What is that called? You are creating transgressions. Whatever Ahung does is his business. We don't do anything. Yes, 9.
What if Ahung comes and tell you all his problems?
He dumps on his problems on you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a horrible thing. I would never do that. I cannot answer your question in one sentence, so we stop here today. Some problems cannot be fixed for some people. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. And Koreans, I'm coming. Don't you think you get away with it today? When I'm there, I will ask you point blank. You better be prepared. Look at your own transgressions. Until then. See you. Thank you, everyone.